So with this, we'll move ahead to our next invitee, which is Mr. Alok Mishra, Chief Executive Officer and Director, Microfinance Institution Network, for his keynote address on how MFIs are reaching the last mile customers using fintech and how government and regulators can play an important role to standardize digital operation across the MFI industry. Mr. Alok Mishra, can we
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Over to you, sir. Can you? I think you should start. We can start with your keynote address.
Okay. Thank you, Let's and everybody who has joined. I think it's a very important topic. I will basically be talking about what the sector is doing in digital and what support we need to get more digital. So before I get into that, I would like to talk about two things. One is that what is the significance of the sector? Now, today, when we speak microfinance sector, which includes banks which have downscaled into microfinance, as well as exclusive microfinance institutions, which are NBFC MFIs, as we speak, they cater to nearly 6 crore borrowers in India. And if we take one borrower with a 5% household, that microfinance is almost touching 30 crore population of India. And because the lending is mainly to the what you can say bottom of pyramid, it can play a major role in shaping the behavior change of borrowers and also bridging the digital divide, what we come to know. Now, current methods of technology which the microfinance sector is using is varied. It is whether it is Aadhaar or eKYC, e-signing of documents, digital document execution, core banking system, integration with the credit bureau system, loan origination systems, or loan management systems, learning management systems. There are so many things through which technology is being leveraged. And the applications range from customer acquisition to awareness generation for members, to cashless loan disbursements, to management of HR, training, audit, accounting, risk, and MIS processes. So these are the various areas in which digital is already there. However, everybody would be curious to know, because as a financial institutions, there are basically two major activities which you have to do, which are at the core of your operations. One is your disbursements and one is the repayment. So on the disbursement side, it gives me great pleasure to say that as of end of March 2021, 97% of the amount disbursed in microfinance sector to 6 crore borrowers was through direct bank transfers or digital transfers. The average loan size is 34,000 and 85% loan accounts were covered. So some small players might not still be there. And why we have been able to do that and why it has taken a accelerated pace in last 2-3 years is mainly because of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, because now almost everybody, whether we are in the urban areas or semi-urban or rural areas or deep rural, has got a bank account, and that makes it easier to push money through that. Now, the repayment side, however, is not so rosy, because there are different methods which have been used by MFIs. There are different methods available in the market. The MFIs have worked with Aadhaar Pay, with point of sales POS using debit card swipes, UPI, NAS, eNAS, Bharat Bill Pay, mobile wallet. So still a lot of, experimentation going on. Also depositing money at the BC point, but still somewhere or the other it is not stabilizing. And cash remains the predominant mode in case of repayment collection. I think the split would be somewhere around 75% in cash and 25% digital. Now, among the digital modes of collection, there is the most popular seems to be the internet banking, followed by deposits at BC points and eNAS. The challenges which have included is one is the multiplicity of options and borrowers' lack of technological awareness in dealing with these instruments, reconciliation of payments where there is no core banking system, as also the NAS bounce charges, because as we all know, there are bounce charges in NAS. So this is the situation. Despite we are trying to work on the repayment puzzle also, whether through QR code or what, it will get solved. But the major piece of it on the disbursement side is pretty much sorted, but on repayment, still certain things will be required. Now, how do we push this? Because that's the main part of my address here. And what are the constraints in terms of policy as well as in terms of the sector, which must be listed and addressed in case we want to get more digital in this space? Now, the first point is, as you all know, that post Supreme Court judgment, the use of Aadhaar as an eKYC is not permissible for NBFC MFIs. It is permissible in case of banks, but not in case of NBFC MFIs. This has been a great setback in terms of deduping of customers in building a very robust database, because we started our work of seeding our customers through Aadhaar database as the unique identifier way back in 2015. And we used to always set a target that by this point of time, all the institutions operating in this geography must match the Aadhaar penetration in that particular state, or plus minus 5%. And we had almost reached 100% Aadhaar, but then this thing came and things had to be taken out and redacted. And same thing also happened with the credit bureaus. Now we cannot report the Aadhaar, neither we can take the Aadhaar-based eKYC nor report it to the credit bureau. So we have gone back to the 9-factor algorithm in credit bureau. So that is a big or I would say disabler in case of digital movement. We have been constantly pursuing with both the Government of India and Reserve Bank of India to allow NBFC MFIs to undertake Aadhaar-based eKYC. I think if it happens, that will be a big game changer. Now, on the second side of it is that the CKYC is an additional unique identifier for future. But at present, the way it operates, it needs to be cost-effective for MFIs. Let me explain it to you that in the entire financial sector, financial intermediary sector, whether it includes banks or mainstream NBFCs or small finance banks or NBFC MFIs, all the RBI regulated institutions, it is only the NBFC MFIs which are governed by micro pricing regulations. And when I say there is a set formula prescribed by Reserve Bank of India that you cannot charge more than that. And that limits the margin which is available. And that is only applicable to NBFC MFIs. In such a scenario, what we are seeing in CKYC, the charges at present, we do not have the adequate margin to load on these charges within the negligible margin available to us. And the pricing formula for MFIs is based on now the base rate of 5 largest banks has become the cap. And in such a scenario, when the base rate is on a decline, we hardly have any margin to pass it on, to absorb it. Passing it on is not allowed again, because the pricing of loans has got explicit guidelines from Reserve Bank of India. So we are requesting the government that the upload, download and update fee for microfinance clients CKYC should be lowered or brought down. This will help the industry to comply with the mandate, and also worrying about the cost and operational viability. And the sector also needs assistance on a common software development cost for integration with CKYC system. I think that's an opportunity for the fintech companies and the new generation technological savvy persons. The other point I would like to stress upon is the promotion of cashless payments. There are two things to it. One is that most of the operations are in rural and you can say semi-urban areas or semi-rural areas. And in that case, even if we disburse the money to the bank account, there is a tendency of preponderance of the clients to withdraw the money in cash and use it in cash, because the digital ecosystem has not developed there. So for that to happen, I think more steps need to be taken, especially on the side of cooperative banks and regional rural banks, which operate at that level, to promote cashless transactions at the rural and semi-urban areas. And the propagation of QR technology-based digital payments, I think that will also be a great factor. However, on our side, because we cannot wait for the ecosystem always to happen, so we still need certain things to happen, which will give a push to disbursements have already become cashless, but on the repayment side, what can be done? So as I said earlier, that in case of repayments, the most popular method has been the creation of, I would say, the ENAS mandates from our borrowers for the institutions. In that case, what happens in typical with our typical client is that the client doesn't have the, what you can say, high float or average balance in the bank account. Generally they would keep 1000 or 2000 or 3000, and in case of need the entire amount might also be withdrawn. So even if the ENAS mandate is with us and that is pushed through, at the point of time or when the mandate is executed for the collecting the repayment, at that time there might be, instead of, while the repayment obligation is 500 rupees, the amount available in the balance would be in the account would be 200, and that will lead to bounce. And when it is bounced, the bounce charges are a little disproportionate, 200 or 250 rupees depending upon the bank. And that creates a lot of problem, because for a client which has borrowed 20,000 rupees and whose monthly installment is 700, to pay a bounce charge of 250 is too much. So to propagate that, because ENAS is the most convenient form which we are seeing, because every client has a bank account, we have requested the NPCI that for microfinance client, there should be a separate merchant category code, what we call as MCC, and that should be applicable to all types of entities which are active in microfinance space. This will help the issuer banks, NPCI, and regulators to easily identify the institutions. And in those such accounts, in such separate category of MCC, you have to waive off the NAS failure charges. If there are accounting issues, you can debit it and again credit it. So that will basically be a contra entry, and there would not be a nil effect on the customer's account. This will give, I feel, a huge boost to the financial and digital inclusion at the bottom of pyramid. And the NPCI has constituted a working group. They are studying our request. We hope it will be done soon. And we also have requested both the Reserve Bank and Government of India that MFIN, as a self-regulatory organization recognized by Reserve Bank of India, we also need some sort of a financial and technical support so that we can take up the cashless transactions and digital journey of the MFIs, and we can support them. Another point which I would like to mention is I think the integration, the account aggregators are now becoming popular. They're still, I would not say popular, but they're still gathering steam. And I think integration and access to account aggregator platforms will enable the microfinance sector to access customers across multiple data points, including non-financial like health, skills, and education. I think that would also give a, what should I say, catalytic impact to the digital inclusion. And finally, I think on the specific points of policy support which you required, I talked about Aadhaar, I talked about promotion of cashless payments, I talked about CKYC, I talked about credit bureau data submission, and I talked about NAS charges and account aggregators. Finally, it is about the digital document execution under NESL. Here also, while we are very keen, because we want to reduce the paperwork and we want to go digital, and there is full eagerness on part of, and we are also participating in the pilot project with the NESL. But the barrier which is coming is that a digital document execution and upload is costing MFIs around rupees 20 to 25 per customer, per execution. And that is not viable under the pricing regulation. So either the Reserve Bank of India allows it to pass on to the customer, which may or may not be acceptable, or waive off the charges, or freeze MFI from the pricing regulations. In the current context, where you have a pricing regulation on one side, where you cannot pass on to the customer the charges, I think the digital document execution, despite all its benefits, is still not very suitable to the sector. And finally, going ahead, because these were the nuts and bolts of the sector. But going ahead, we are also seeing a lot of interaction with fintech companies in terms of payments, in terms of machine learning, in terms of artificial intelligence, gathering the various data points and having a more robust credit assessment rather than only relying on the credit bureau. I think that is also a work in progress for which can be taken up by the future fintech companies. Is that how do we get sourced, maybe through an account aggregator model, the various other data points of the client, through which we can do some predictive analysis on the credit behavior of the client, which can act as a substitute to the current system of relying only to the talking to the client, assessing his or her income, and then trying to do the credit bureau check. I think the third data point, collecting other missing data points and getting a credit score, that could be useful. So these are all the aspects which need to be done to drive the sector very digital, more digital in future. However, when I end, I must say that microfinance is a last mile segment activity. Here, seeing the profile of our customers and their technological savviness, we must have to accept that all these fancy concepts of cloud delivery and cloud collection will work with a limited extent. We have to put the client's convenience first. And for that, we always propagate that till we go to such a digital awareness that everybody is very savvy with digital technology, which will take, I think, decades in India to the clients which we are serving. It has to be a phygital approach, a combination of physical and digital. I will just give you an example. Even if our clients go to a BC point to make a cashless repayment, they want the assisted model approach. That the BC should tell her that you do this, they take this step, that step, and then they do it. So it has to be phygital for the near future. And all the policy steps which I have listed will help in the sector reaching the 6 crore clients in a more digital way. And I think that will be a great service that will bridge the divide between Bharat and India, that will bridge the digital divide and lead to greater digital inclusion in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alok. It was a very great session. Thank you for joining us and sharing your insights on MFIs. Now, moving ahead,